What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Affirmative Talk Show with your host, Samuel Richardson III. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about Tiffany Cross. Tiffany Cross, great analyst. Her smarts, her brilliance that she brought to the stage was remarkable. And I definitely want to talk about this particular topic of conversation because she was fired by MSNBC. And I think it was a wrong firing for her. And she has been actually faced with a lot of racist remarks and a lot of racist things said about her and how she ran her show. But I'm going to actually share some videos so that way you can be able to see and then you'll be able to gather your own opinions of Tiffany Cross. If you don't know who Tiffany Cross is, she was actually an analyst and show anchor on MSNBC. And the name of her show was Cross Connection. And she did talk about the inadequacies of this country. And she brought out some people that she felt that was just not right, far as in bringing in a lot of racism and things was said, and she just talked real true to who she is with her blackness. So I definitely wanted to share a video, a couple of videos with you, so that way you can gather on some of your information on how you feel about the firing of her. But I want to share this article. Here's this article on the New York Post on there were black leaders, about 40 of them that protested against her firing from MSNBC. Now, a group of more than 40 black leaders across politics and media reportedly slammed MSNBC over its decision to cut ties with controversial weekend anchor Tiffany Cross. The leaders, including the NAACP President Derek Johnson, Color of Change President Rashad Robinson, and ex ESPN personality Jamil Hill, have requested a meeting with MSNBC President Rashida Jones to address the situation. Now, it has been said that we are deeply disappointed in the abrupt cancellation of the Cross Connection and an unexpected ouster of its host just 4 days before a critical midterm election, the top official said in a letter to MSNBC brass. Now, the House anchor's defenders added the meeting was necessary to discuss a path forward that is restorative to the reputation and dignity of Ms. Cross. Now, in that letter, the officials also criticized MSNBC for deciding not to renew Cross' contract just a few weeks after Fox News Tucker Carlson blasted her comments on race in a segment. During the segment, Carlson accused Cross of genocidal talk. Now, with that being said, his intentional misrepresentation of her platform amounted to no less than a direct attack, and she have engendered immediate defense and support of Ms. Cross by her parent network. Now, instead, it appears the NBC Universal has allowed Fox News to dictate its hiring and unwarranted firing decisions. We cannot afford to be bullied by those who are willing and wantingly drag this country backwards. And this was like far as in a lot of people, as you can see right here, here's Tiffany Cross. But what I want to do is kind of elaborate on some of the moments when Tiffany Cross was on her show, Cross Connection. So that way you can gather your opinions about what she talked about, how she carried herself as a black, smart woman, and how she called out things for what it is. She's a type of person that don't holds back her tongue. You're gonna get what she how she see it, and she's not gonna sugarcoat nothing. So here's one of the videos that I want you to show. I want to show you about Tiffany Cross rebuked Senator Tim Scott's comments on race in America. Now, just to let you know that these videos are not mine, but I'm sharing and using these videos only for research purposes. Okay, so let's play this video real quick. Can anyone? Let's go back to it. Give me a second.
Name a political, social, or economic institution in America where widespread disparities and discrimination does not exist? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Such a great question from my friend The Roots, Michael Harriot, and I actually have an answer. The hollow institution that resides inside Republican Senator Tim Scott's head. No racism there, and apparently no sense either. This week, the sole Black Republican in the Senate sounded a stone fool when he said this.
Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Okay, let's be clear. Tim Scott does not represent any constituency other than the small number of sleepy, slow-witted sufferers of Stockholm Syndrome who get elevated to prominence for repeating a false narrative about this country that makes conservative white people feel comfortable. Because when you speak an uncomfortable truth, like Nicole Hannah-Jones, the party that Scott claims is not racist gets big mad and tries to silence you. Just this week, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell asked Education Secretary Miguel Cardona to scrap teaching the 1619 Project in schools because it would reorient the view of American history. Lucky for McConnell, he has his own tap dancer to try and reorient the view of America for him. There were so many contradictions in the senator's speech that it was clear not even Scott believed the words he was speaking. I could go into great detail refuting each of his asinine points, but he did that for me. And moreover, a lesson I've learned, don't argue with people Harriet Tubman would have left behind. And sure, Tim Scott has spoken out about his encounters with law enforcement, and he co-sponsored the anti-lynching bill in the Senate, but there are two sides to every token. So thirsty for white approval, this dude actually stood on the national stage to defend the voter suppression law in Georgia, even though, as of last month, 361 bills were being introduced in 47 states to keep people who look like him out of the ballot box. The ability to shame the ancestors and appease the oppressors all in one speech, that's extreme. Though not quite like the domestic violent extremism that the Department of Homeland Security is investigating within its own ranks, mind you. But please, Senator, say more about how unracist the country is while you trot out that tired line about going from cotton to Congress to clown. Perhaps this was merely Senator Scott's audition.
Cotton to Congress to clown. Cotton to Congress to clown. I like Tiffany, man. You know, and I've been watching her show. You know, I watched a good bit of her show, and I was very disappointed in the firing of Tiffany Cross. And it brings up a question, and for me, is that why it feels that when you have a Black educated person that talks about critical race theory and talks about the things that are going on in our country that is not fair, and there's a lot of inequalities that's going on in our country, and she brings out and bringing you research, bringing you facts. This is a woman that's just not talking off the side of her neck. She's just not talking just to talk. She does research. She knows her history. She is highly educated. And for her show to get cut short and not renewed is just a travesty when you have other people on MSNBC that is actually giving these false narratives of this world. And it's just not correct. It's not right. And it's not fair. And I just why I wanted to bring up on this situation dealing with Tiffany Cross. Now, there's a situation that I want to bring up that I want to share with you, that Tiffany Cross had addressed Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is a former colleague of Tiffany Cross. And there were some things they have been known to go back and forth with words. But I want you to watch this video that I'm going to share with you. And, you know, she called Tiffany Cross a racist. But who is the true racist based off on the comments that are being said? And I want you to watch this video right here. And this is Tiffany Cross that's responding back to Megyn Kelly after Megyn Kelly called Tiffany Cross a dumbass. Okay, listen to this.
Okay, so normally you guys know I use this time to address something or someone relevant who has warranted some sort of ire from the community. However, this week I'm taking a slightly different approach and addressing someone completely irrelevant. I'm speaking, of course, about Megyn Kelly. The 50-year-old bully is trying to bulldoze her way back into relevance that only comes to women like her for being a provocateur, not for offering any type of intellectual input. Nevertheless, here we are. Why? Because the blackface connoisseur who had to apologize for ridiculously asking why it was racist for white people to wear blackface for Halloween is now going after someone who's less than half her age but has twice her intelligence. 23-year-old Naomi Osaka, who announced she would not participate in post-match conferences during the French Open, and ultimately ended up leaving altogether and withdrawing from Wimbledon, citing her own mental health. Now, Kelly accused Osaka of not being genuine after the tennis star beautifully graced the covers of multiple magazines, which were, of course, shot months prior, which Osaka explained in a since-deleted tweet. Now, we reached out to Kelly's attorney for comment, but did not get a response. But when Osaka understandably blocked Kelly on Twitter, this woman said that Naomi just didn't like tough questions. Such insight from the land of the inconsequential. But also, girl, bye. First, shout out to all of you out there prioritizing your mental health, especially when dealing with someone who spews nonsense like this.
By the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white. Yeah. Jesus was a white man, too.
What in the hell did I just hear? Did you hear that? Did you hear the comments of Megyn Kelly? Let's listen back to it again. Listen with a third ear in what she said.
By the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white. Yeah. Jesus was a white man, too.
Now, how obvious you have 4 people that are all white panel, and she said that Jesus is white. Santa is white.
Okay. Second, to all you Karens watching at home, please make a list for your white Santa and pray to your white Jesus for a life. Please. Because we're out here living our best ones, fighting on the front lines to preserve democracy, taking up space at the highest levels of government, making long overdue and necessary changes in newsrooms, winning Emmys while twirling on our haters. We come from a long line of torchbearers, lighting fires that illuminate the world and burn away chains. So it's no coincidence that Snow White and the 7 dumb takes she's had recently overwhelmingly target Black women. The amazing luminary Nicole Hannah-Jones, whom Kelly went after over the 1619 Project, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, who Kelly said should stop whining about the treatment of baby Archie, Olympic hammer thrower Gwen Berry, who Kelly suggested be removed from the Olympics due to her protest. Kelly is really just trying to claw her way back into social relevance and into the hearts of Fox News viewers by regurgitating their favorite attacks, all while benefiting from the work that we do. We're quite used to it. But when it comes to us, sisters, stop punching above your weight. You keep asking for this smoke that you really don't want. You want to act like a high school mean girl, and you'll get treated that way. Sit down, be humble, while our left stroke keeps going viral. Let the grown women speak. You're not invited to this table. You don't have the range.
Come on, man. How can you not like Tiffany Cross, man? How can you not like Tiffany Cross, man? This is why I love being on YouTube. I love being on Facebook and Twitter. You can find me on all those platforms at Affirmative Talk, but definitely I'm on Snapchat and also on YouTube. Most definitely, please follow, subscribe to that channel. It's growing. And let me tell you something, man. I enjoyed her shows. You know, there's a lot of things worse that a lot of people that are not her color, not our skin tone, people have said worse. People have called out called out outside our names. And here you have a Black educated woman that represents Black excellence and is calling things out how she sees it. And it's truth. Okay. So this is not something just supporting someone because they're Black. I am supporting the truth. And what I wanted to talk about is this the situation Megyn Kelly and where she talked about Tiffany Cross, calling Tiffany Cross a dumbass. Now, Megyn Kelly had came and said she called the host Tiffany Cross at the time as a moron and a dumbass, calling her the most racist person on television for suggesting Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua is Black. Now, let me just say this. Now, I do know that Tua is mixed. He's a Hawaiian, things of that nature. But Tiffany Cross was saying, ultimately, he's Black. He's darker skin tone. He's Black. And she was comparing him with playing in the NFL, that these white owners sees him as Black. And she was making a great point because I don't know, show with all my sports heads out here, there was a situation when the Miami Dolphins had played against the Cincinnati Bengals, right? And Tua got knocked out. He was laying on the field, on the NFL field for a while, and he had a concussion. And he actually played and continued to play in the game. And ultimately, the team's physician ended up getting fired because when you have a concussion as an NFL player, you have to go through what you call concussion protocol. And there was a lot of people that was seeing that and was worried for Tua because they feel that he was forced to go in and play after he was clearly hurt. His knees was wobbling. He could barely walk. He needed help walking to get back to the bench and all of these things. And Tiffany Cross had pointed it out and she made a statement about it. And here's what she said. During the Bengals game, Tua was slammed to the ground and remained down for more than 7 minutes before being stretchered off the field. Now, Cross said during her MSNBC show at the time, she had said that the NFL's casual attitude towards the health of its players, and majority of whom are Black. She said to see all these Black men crashing into other people with a bunch of white owners, white coaches, and the complete disregard for Black bodies and Black life, said Cross, whose comments were cited by Mediate. She said, I mean, it just represents a larger issue for her. And Megyn Kelly slammed Cross for her stunningly racist comments. Now, I don't know about you, but her comments were not racist. Her comments were spot on to me. In my opinion, she told the truth. It is the absolute truth. Now, Megyn Kelly went on to say that he's not Black. Hello, you dumbass, Tiffany Cross, the former Fox and NBC anchor, said on the Tuesday broadcast of her Sirius XM podcast, The Megyn Kelly Show. Now, she said that she's the most racist person on television, said Kelly of Cross, and she said it's amazing. Maybe she just didn't see color. And I want to leave it right there because what I want to leave with you with this is that it is amazing to me, and I've harped on this on several occasions, is that when you have people that are not Black that will twist the words of a Black educated person and it don't even twist it right, and it's not what they said, and then you try to proclaim it and gaslight it as truth. And then when you have Tiffany Cross that had an amazing show, Cross Connection, that was on MSNBC, and how she brought change, how she talked about change, how she talked about changing the culture of this country, of the United States of America, and how to bring it relevant of equality amongst all colors and walks of life of people. And you want to get rid of her? Sometimes people that are not Black don't want to hear the truth. They just want the Black person to tap dance and move the way they want them to move. And when they feel like they don't agree, or when you say something that they don't like, that's when their true colors and feelings come out against you. It's wrong. It's not right. And maybe they should take a look in the mirror and understand that racists may be staring them in the face. This is your host, Samuel Richardson III. Welcome to joining, and thank you for joining the Affirmative Talk Show. Make sure you go on my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that way you can get notified of new content coming your way. I do talk about a lot of sports, but I talk about relevant news that is relevant to me, and I think it's important to talk about on my channel. Thank you for every time for tuning in. Take care and always be safe out there, and always stay blessed.
Hey, experience can't be bought. This the energy you want. Yeah, this affirmative talk. Hey, destined for greatness, that's for certain. Time to build your life with purpose. Build your self-esteem and courage. Right now, it's a lifestyle, that's for sure. Good vibes and meditation from a real life coach. Let them know. Affirmations help to make a better you. Got you feeling incredible. Affirmative talk, come on through, let's go.